Okay, top of the hour. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, here we are. And Avish is just joining us shortly here. Hey, Avish, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. So, anyway, we'll go ahead and get started here. First thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that we just finished in New York City the event where Avish was present. And that was, let me just bring that up for everyone here. That was Fred and BobBly.com. And that's what that looked like. And this is going to be switched over. A couple things we learned from this. Number one is New York City event is Fred and BobBly.com, which is clearly indicated. Can you see this URL up here that I just highlighted, Avish? Yeah.
FredandBobBly.com. Yeah.
And it's blue. You can see that?
Yep.
Okay, good. So this will shortly be turning into the following. It'll be this. Bob is going to rewrite the copy, and this copy will be transitioning from an event to the recording of the event, and then this will be one of those two-page websites where you'll have page one, sales, and page two, membership area, which will basically be access to the videos of the event, which we had done. So that's what that's going to turn into. And again, if you want any information on that, you should contact Dave Hamilton, who is the web marketing magician, and you can get him at webmarketingmagician.com, or I think at Dave at webmarketingmagician, WMM, per the above here. And that's how you can get a hold of him if you want to do something similar to that. So the nice thing is that we don't have to, recreate the wheel here. Bob will take the copy that's been written on the site and he will modify it, and we'll probably have to include a few bonuses. We're not sure yet what we're going to sell this at because we dramatically underpriced the event at about $200 for the event. It should have been, really probably more like $500. That would have been a fairer price. And then, so the question is, if you had the event at $200, can you sell the videos at the same price? I think in this case the answer is yes. So my thought is that we could, we'll probably price the event somewhere between 100 and 200 when it comes down to it for the access to the members page. A members page on fredandbobbly.com. So it'll end up being fredandbobbly.com/members, and that'll be where the videos are of that event. And again, this is something that you can do for all of your products and or all of your seminars and workshops. So that's what's happening. And I did just get off the phone with Bill DeWeese earlier, about a couple hours ago, Vish, and one of the things I told him, which I'll make the offer to you as well, which is that, if you need me, any work that I can do to help move, speaking expert ahead or be funny as a speaker or whatever we're doing, let me know something so I can do some of the lifting as well, and you're not doing all of it. So I think we decided from our conversation that we would concentrate a little bit more. And by the way, just to give you some insight, I spoke to buddy, I spoke to our buddy Jason Brubaker, and he's got some interesting stuff going on. Kind of cool with, let me just show you what he's doing here at Facebook, right? Let me just show you facebook.com/filmmaking stuff. Look at this. Oops, wait a second. Filmmaking stuff, huh? Filmmaking stuff. Hey, Dave, how are you?
Hey Fred, how are you?
Hey, we're just talking about you. As a matter of fact, I put your name up here. So,
Okay.
I'm trying to get to film making stuff. That won't work. So I was talking to Jason Brubaker, filmmaking stuff at Facebook. Check this out. Look at the number of likes.
I spoke to him a few weeks ago. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
He doubled since the last time I talked to him.
Yeah. And so one of the things I told Jason is he should sort of let us all know how to do this. And because that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's
And,
not so bad.
What's that?
So that's not so bad.
Not so bad as right. And so, Jason said to me that he basically is looking for another niche other than filmmaking because he just doesn't think that filmmakers are in a position to pay the money that he'd like to make to afford, some of the stuff. So he's kind of looking around for another niche. I don't blame him. And in our case, Avish, I think that that's kind of, that I think that we're looking for the niche, but we're looking for a slice of the niche. So one of the things that we're doing, Dave, and I don't know if you heard Avish and I talking about this in New York, but we're moving away from, speaking in general, and we're going more towards the topic of be funny as a speaker. Am I right there, Avish? Am I accurate?
Yeah.
So the whole idea here is that the screen looks dark. Okay, no wonder. So I think that we were competing or attempting to compete in a space which is fairly crowded. And I think if you look at this, if you look at speakingexpert.com and or you look at let's say something else, Jason's filmmakingstuff.com, both of those are crowded spaces. Whereas when you look at Bill DeWeese's site, what's the difference here? And I think there would probably be, it's a tight niche. It has few gurus competing for the pie. And it has an established, very successful guru at the top. So I think that clearly, if we were to categorize, Avish, your success and compare your success in speaking versus your success in being funny, I think you'd have to agree that you're better being funny, at least in terms of the data, than you are as a speaker, correct?
Oh, yeah.
So, and I don't think there's any argument on that. So I think that what we should be doing is sort of following what Bill DeWeese has taught us here, which is that we're going to go after a tighter niche. But in a way, it's not a tighter niche. It's taking off and biting off a piece of, because when you talk about be funny as a speaker, you're appealing to some speakers, but you're also appealing to the other mass of audience there that's, doing all kinds of other things. So, there you have it. As it relates to Jason Brubaker's ability to get 26,000 likes on this Facebook page, he's going to tell me a little bit about how he did that at some point in the future. But that's 27,000 is a lot of likes.
Well, in a few weeks ago,
you're in and out, Dave.
Oh, can you?
Is that me or that?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You hear him?
I can hear Dave, yeah.
Huh, I can't,
Okay.
so then I'm in and out.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Well,
Dave.
I was just going to say, 2 weeks ago, I saw Jason, and he showed me, and I swear he was in the teens with this. So he's growing at an alarming rate. But, yeah, finding a buying market, that's pretty huge.
Yeah, and also, this event is coming up. The VoiceOver Revolution event is coming up and by the way, Dave, I don't know if you looked into prices on tickets and stuff, but Bill is very open to something that we can do there.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I am looking into it, so I'll let you know soon.
By the way, for some reason, maybe I don't have enough bandwidth, but Dave, I'm hearing you sporadically, and so if this is being recorded, it'll probably bum people out. So I don't know what to do with that. Avish, you seem to be fine though.
Yeah, I can hear both you guys fine.
Yeah, now
Hey,
you just
Fred.
sort of, I think you just sort of faded in and out there too. It might be because of having two people who are in the panelists who are talking, perhaps. I don't know what to do
Okay.
with that, but all I can say is what we should probably do is when I call on you guys, speak, and then when you stop, I'll wait a little while and then let you come back in so that we don't step on each other. So, Dave, were you going to say something?
I was just going to. This is kind of between you and I, but we were going to test whether it was a microphone issue. I was going to jump off and come back in as a on a different mic if that's okay.
Yeah, try that now. But I'm already having problems that you're in and out a little bit already, so that has probably to do with
Okay.
more bandwidth.
Okay.
But why don't you go ahead and
All
try
right.
it?
Sounds good. I'll be back.
Okay. Avish, so back to you here, buddy. So what do you think we should do to make this transition? And I don't know if speakingexpert.com remains our best place to do this, or if we should sort of start over as at Be Funny as a Speaker. Do we have a site up there?
There is. I just took a look at it. I got to email Stanley because the homepage comes up, but some of the interior pages are throwing up errors because we haven't done anything with this site in a couple of years ever since we started Speaking Expert.
Got it. Because
But yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, part of it is I kind of want to take a little bit of time and plan this out, so instead of just jumping in and then losing steam. I think the transition, it's not like we get a ton of traffic at Speaking Expert. The newsletter, I think, the easy that goes out weekly, this is still speaking topics, so it should not be a huge issue to just direct people to the Be Funny site instead of the Speaking Expert site.
I would agree. I would agree.
And
Yeah, I think though that now is this tagline the best we can do, or can we do something more powerfully here? Learn the skills.
what I came up with while sitting at the seminar was how I'm gonna find the piece of paper, but something like how quote unquote how. Yeah, hold on a second. I got the notebook here.
So something like how anyone can be funnier when they speak.
Well, I was even going to niche it down further. How any quote-unquote non-funny, end quote, speaker can add humor, personality, and entertainment to their presentations or to their speeches.
Yeah, I mean, I basically that's a little bit.
I feel like I said, when I talk, when I tell people I do humor, or when I'm going to do a program at NSA, I get so many people saying to me like, "Yeah, I know I need that humor. It's really I'm not that funny, and I know that's really important." I think a lot of people identify themselves as not funny, and they identify that as a problem.
Well, I'll tell you what we should do then. If that's the case, and I agree with you, maybe what we do is we put over here in this blank white area.
Yeah.
Click here to have to get a Vish to help you add humor to your presentation. And maybe what we can do is we can start reviewing people's videos and giving them suggestions for a fee in terms of that.
Yeah, what I want to do is that's only one of the services I had listed out as adding in. What I'd like to do is kind of seed it with a couple of examples. So I'm going to go out. I think in that sheet I gave you in New York, there are a couple of coaching clients that came through the Speaking Expert site. So I may just put it out to them, like, look, if you let me post that as an example, to send me a 5-minute story, and I'll do it for free, and that way we'll have like a, 2, 3, 4 examples people can look at to see, here's the impact it could have.
I like it. So in other words, you're going to show me a before and after.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show, because what I envision happening is someone emails us a video, a 5-minute story, 10 minutes maybe tops, and then I and you working together come up with lines, humor, delivery, and then I'll videotape myself delivering the same material, and then I can explain to the person, here's the techniques we use to do it. So I would show them doing the story, and then I show my version of the story. And that would kind of be what the service is. So I'd say, look, if you send a story like this, here's what you would get back.
I like it, and I'd like to have one that said stuff that's not so funny, and that's the heading of one column, and there stuff that is now much funnier.
Mm-hmm.
We should actually make that kind of funny itself. And so, yeah, and it could go down here or whatever, right below here, examples. not so
Right.
funny, and then over here where my cursor is, funny. Not so
Yeah.
funny, funny. That would be, I think that would be great. And I think that up here then, Avish, in this particular one, this what I don't know what video is in here now.
That was just like
Now, we all know
that.
that
So.
I think that what this should be is basically you giving a pitch for people coming to the site who are, hey, I don't care. Hey, thanks for coming to the site. I don't care who you are or what you do. If you have a presentation of any sort that you need to make funnier, you've come to the right place. My mission in life is all about taking your material and showing you with a few little easy steps that I've got the secret sauce and have developed how to get your stuff how to get people to be not necessarily rolling on the ground, but having them laughing out loud with some of the stuff you do.
Yeah, I like it.
And I think that would be a great way and this video would be good to do that.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, so cool. Then, it might be funny to actually have, I don't know if you have something, some kind of disguise, but, you could do a quick flash to a cut of this thing people think is funny. Not necessarily so. This, some people think is funny. They have another little flash, a quick clip of you like dressed in a whatever outfit. And then that's not necessarily funny. Just changing your appearance isn't funny. It's about changing your material. You can do a clever video that might go on for anywhere from 60 to 90 seconds and is quick and fast moving. That's how I see it. Does that make sense? Does that work for you?
Yep. Yeah, I got to figure exactly what it's going to look like, but I like the idea.
Yeah. Okay. So then I think that would be great. And yeah, I would love it if, let's say, somebody sent something into us and both of us looked at it and said, okay, here's some ideas. Because I'm sure we'll come up with very, very different ideas and suggestions for the person, which will be great. And then I can give you mine, you can take yours, and you can incorporate them together and give the guy back or the gal back a video where you're presenting the material. I think that'd be excellent.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool. And yeah, so that's I think a really, really good place to start. So that's what I would do there. Let's see here. Anybody have any questions? Who's on with us here? Is there any question of anything that we've talked about thus far? I don't think Dave is back on yet because he's trying to test the microphone issue to see if his mic is having a problem because we don't want to have it be echoing, which is what happened the last time we did it. So anyway, that's good. I'm excited about the prospect of doing this. As long as we can gain some traction, I think it'll be really, really good. And maybe, it'd be kind of nice to have the sales portion of this be, how much would you pay to get your presentation or talk to be a lot funnier? Now, if you're a corporate vice president of sales, that's probably a lot. If you're giving a toast at a wedding, that's probably not as much. So in other words, maybe what we do is, I think that depending on the way that we charge for the services, there's a minimum amount, and then there's an amount based on the amount of material you give us to review and for us to give you, and let's just say that we could do this. Listen to this as a tagline. Maybe you put it up at the top. Be funnier for $1 a minute. Or something, in other words, something like that, where we make the pricing dependent on the length of the material, and let's say it was, that's probably not accurate pricing, but let's say, be funnier for $10 a minute. So somebody gives you a 6-minute video at $60. Somebody gives you a 3-hour presentation, 180 times, 3, whatever. In other words, maybe there's something in doing it kind of clever pricing as well.
Yeah, we just only have ranges based on that, so I'll kind of think about what that's going to look like and how much work it'll be on our end.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. I think that we've got to make it based on, and I like this idea of when those people give you the presentation of each, do you envision them delivering it and sending you a video, or just sending you the text?
No, I definitely see them sending a video because that's where a lot of it. That's where a lot of like the coaching and feedback's gonna come from.
Yep, I would agree. And so if somebody sends us, now let's say that somebody hasn't ever done this. They're going to go to a wedding and they have to get up and they're the best man or whatever, and they want to be funnier. How would we handle that?
Well, I mean, with webcams and phone cams being so ubiquitous, I would just say, look, just set it up and shoot yourself delivering it.
Got it. So you'd still want him or her to do the trial run in front of a camera and send it to us or you.
Yeah, I mean, in general sense, if you have material that's not funny that you want to make funnier,
Yep.
we'll show you how to do it. If then there's going to be other coaching options. If you're like, developing the material, if you're like, I deliver a toast, or I deliver a speech, I don't really know what I'm going to say, then that's a whole different animal.
Yeah. No, I got you. I'm liking it. I think it works. Are you?
Cool.
Do you feel good about it?
I am. I just don't want to make the same, I won't say mistake, but the same traps of the past site. So I kind of want to have everything kind of sketched out from what the opt-in's going to be, what the funnel's going to be, a plan as to when it's going to be developed, a plan for, how the marketing of this is going to go, and it's beyond just, I don't want to spend a lot of time putting up and developing the offer until we know how it's all going to fit and everything. So I'm excited about this. I think it's a good niche. I think it definitely plays into what I consider my strengths are. So I just want to kind of make sure it's set up right before we get off and rolling.
Yeah, and I think that if I'm thinking in advance for the kind of products, I think that what we do is we develop some products that are more oriented towards the situations as opposed to the individuals. So, how to be funny as a wedding speaker or a wedding toaster, how to be funny as a blank blank, fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, I'm good with that. So, that's excellent. Okay, so what else should we discuss here? I think that what did you get? What were your biggest takeaways from the event in New York?
Let me go through my notes. I mean, one of the biggest one was thinking about this funny as a speaker thing. That focusing on that a lot of that came out of sitting there on day one and listening to you guys talk about the niching thing. Let's look through here.
Yeah, I'm just curious if you had. Yep.
A lot of it, for me, a lot of it just kind of the kick in the ass. Because, I mean, having known you for so long and read Bob stuff, for me, it wasn't a tremendous amount of new information, but it was a lot of reminders and refocusing. Like, all right, having a more regular easing, I like the ideas around the content. Obviously, Bob's copywriting stuff is very, is always useful.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Well,
cool.
cool.
And actually, Dave's membership site stuff got me thinking too. I don't feel I'm quite ready for that yet, but it definitely got me thinking about, moving forward.
Tell me what you were sort of thinking.
Well, I mean, I like the way you broke down to 3 types, and I was always assuming about the authority membership site. But I like taking either some of our old products or some new products and creating a fixed term membership site, which is just could be another way of just calling it like it's like an online group coaching program.
Yep.
But kind of seeing some more options for membership sites than I did before.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I spent some time on the phone with Bill DeWeese, and what was the last thing that I came up with that I was going to remind him to do? Oh yeah, for Dave to possibly show up at this event and pitch some web services. Anyway, so that's good. We don't have any questions, so I think I'm all done. Anything else you need?
No, I'm good.
Okay, well, folks, thank you for being on the webinar. And since I don't see any questions, we're going to end it for today, and you get off early. So, Avish, thanks a lot for your help and for your almost help in the other area.